Hello and welcome to LM Reads. I'm a researcher who loves to break down fascinating books for you. If you've ever wondered how a country could use cutting-edge technology to completely reinvent something as personal and vital as healthcare, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're going to dive into a story of incredible ambition from Saudi Arabia, exploring how they plan to transform the health of millions. Let's get right into it. So, the book we're exploring today starts with this massive, almost overwhelming question. How do you reinvent an entire nation's healthcare system? I mean, we're not just talking about building a few new hospitals or buying some shiny new machines. We're talking about a fundamental, ground-up shift in how medicine is practiced and delivered to over 35 million people. It's a question with breathtaking scale, and for a country facing some really unique challenges, finding the right answer is absolutely everything. And the answer, as the book explains, starts with this huge national project called Vision 2030. You can think of it like a countrywide blueprint for the future, one that's designed to modernize pretty much everything, the economy, society, and the overall quality of life. And right at the heart of this vision, a core pillar, is the promise of creating a world-class, tech-forward healthcare system that's accessible to every single citizen. It's an incredibly bold goal, and it really sets the stage for everything that follows. Now, to really get why this is so urgent, you have to understand the sheer scale of the challenges they're up against. First off, they're dealing with a huge spike in chronic diseases like diabetes. Then there's the Hajj pilgrimage. Just try to imagine coordinating healthcare for more than 2 million people from all over the world, all gathered in one place for a very short time. It's one of the biggest public health puzzles on the planet. On top of that, you have a vast desert geography, which makes it super tough to get good care to remote areas. And of course, there's the universal challenge of making the whole system run better and cost less. The task is just enormous. So you've got these massive, tangled problems. What tool does the book say they're banking on to solve them? Artificial intelligence. And this isn't just some buzzword they're throwing around. The idea here is to use AI as a kind of digital scalpel, a tool with incredible precision that can diagnose huge systemic problems, forecast what's coming next, and help carve out a healthier future for the whole country. It's a big bet that modern problems need the most modern solutions. And this brings us to our first major aha moment from the book. Let's dig into exactly how this digital scalpel is already reshaping healthcare in some really powerful practical ways. This is where it goes from a cool, futuristic idea to a real-world game changer. Okay, so one of the key AI tools the book breaks down is something called predictive analytics. The easiest way to think about this, it's like having a crystal ball that runs on data. Seriously, it turns through millions of data points, old health records, weather patterns, you name it, to predict what's going to happen next. It can help see a flu outbreak coming in a certain city, or even guess how many beds an emergency room is going to need next week. It's all about seeing the future so you can actually prepare for it today. And get this, it's already making a real difference. AI is being used in medical scans to help doctors spot cancer signs way earlier and more accurately than the human eye can alone. During the Hajj, it's being used to predict where diseases might pop up, so they can get ahead of an outbreak before it even starts. The book even gets into how AI is helping to create personalized treatment plans based on your unique DNA, and how AI-powered smartwatches are helping people with diabetes manage their health from their own homes. This is not science fiction, folks. This is happening right now. But here's the part of the book that really made me stop and think. The author makes it crystal clear that just having amazing tech is only half the battle. The biggest, most complicated challenges in all of this, they aren't technical at all. They're human. They're about culture, and they're about ethics. And this is really the central conflict of the whole story. For this incredible vision to actually work, and for people to trust it, a bunch of really tough human hurdles have to be cleared first. This is where the story pivots from being about technology to being about trust. The book boils these hurdles down into 3 big questions. First, data privacy. How can you possibly use super personal health data to train AI systems while making absolutely sure that info is locked down and secure? Second, bias. How do you make sure an AI, which learns from the data you feed it, works fairly for everyone in a country with millions of citizens and foreign workers? And finally, the most fascinating challenge of all, cultural and ethical alignment. This is what makes this whole situation so unique. The AI doesn't just need to be smart.
it has to be culturally wise. The book explains that any AI system they build must line up with core Islamic ethical principles, like the idea of maslaha, which is all about prioritizing the well-being of the whole community. This means the tech has to be designed from the ground up to respect patient dignity, personal choice, and cultural norms, like gender sensitivity in virtual doctor's appointments. Basically, the technology has to fit the culture, not the other way around.
So, okay, when you're staring down these huge challenges of data privacy, potential bias, and deep-seated cultural values, how on earth do you move forward? Do you just give up on the big dream? The book says absolutely not. Instead, it argues that the only way to move forward is with a very clear, very deliberate, and very ethical plan. And that brings us to the final part of this breakdown, the blueprint for the future. This is the book's proposed roadmap for navigating all that complexity and making this incredible AI-powered vision a reality the right way. And here it is, the proposed blueprint. Now, I know this looks a little complicated, but the book does a really good job of breaking it down. Essentially, it's a strategic plan that shows how every single piece of this puzzle connects. For example, you see how establishing clear governance and policy down at the bottom is the foundation for everything else, like building a secure data infrastructure. And notice how both of those things flow upwards to create public trust and engagement. The whole point is that this isn't just a to-do list, it's an ecosystem where every single part is designed to support the others. So let's just pull out the 4 key actions from that plan. First, to tackle the privacy issue, the plan says they need to enforce the absolute toughest international data protection standards. Second, to fight bias, they have to use diverse data from all parts of the population to train the AI. Third, to build trust, they need to launch public awareness campaigns to show people the benefits and the safeguards. And finally, to speed things up, they recommend creating innovation zones for the government and private companies to work together on research. It's a really solid, comprehensive plan. This map from the research gives us a really cool look at what the future priorities are. Let me just explain it quickly. The themes you see in that top right corner are called motor themes. That just means they're super important and well-developed. And what's sitting right there in that critical spot? Artificial intelligence, human, and Saudi Arabia. The book uses this to visually hammer home its main point. The future isn't just about the tech. It's about the vital, unbreakable link between that technology, the people it's meant to serve, and the unique cultural context of the nation itself. So what's the verdict here? Well, the book lays out this really compelling case that what we're watching unfold isn't just a simple upgrade. It's a potential revolution in how an entire nation thinks about health. It's a story that starts with massive ambition, runs headfirst into deep human challenges, and then answers with a smart, clear, and culturally aware plan for the future. And this leaves us with a final, really provocative question that goes way beyond just one country. The book makes you wonder, could this actually be a new model for the rest of the world? Could an AI system that is built to deeply and respectfully fit the unique culture and values of a population be the real key to unlocking the future of health? Not just in the Middle East, but everywhere. All right, let's jump right in. I want you to imagine something pretty wild. Picture a country deciding, you know what? We're going to completely rebuild our public healthcare system, but not just with new buildings or policies. No, they're putting artificial intelligence right at the very heart of it. This isn't just a small upgrade. We're talking about a massive, nationwide transformation, a really bold vision for the future of medicine. I mean, that's a huge question, right? It's one thing to sort of patch up the systems you already have, but to build a brand new high-tech framework from the ground up, one that's supposed to serve millions of people, that's a whole different ballgame. So where on earth do we even start? Well, for Saudi Arabia, the answer starts with something called Vision 2030. Now, this isn't just some healthcare plan. Think of it as a blueprint for the entire country's future, covering everything from the economy to social life. And right in the middle of that grand plan, AI is positioned as this absolutely essential tool, the engine that's going to power a whole new era of public health. Okay, so to really get why they're betting so big on AI, we need to look at what is probably the ultimate stress test for any public health system. I mean, we're talking about a real-world challenge that's just mind-boggling in its scale and complexity. And that challenge is the Hajj pilgrimage. Every single year, Saudi Arabia plays host to one of the largest gatherings of human beings on the planet. From a public health standpoint, it's just this monumental task that requires an incredible amount of planning and on-the-fly problem-solving. And here's why it's such a challenge. Just look at that number. We're talking about more than 2 million people from all corners of the globe, all coming together in one place for a pretty short amount of time.
You're essentially managing the health and safety of a giant, temporary city full of people from diverse backgrounds. It's a logistical puzzle unlike anything else. And this is exactly where AI stops being a buzzword and becomes a super practical tool. It's not some abstract idea. We're talking about AI algorithms that can watch crowd movements in real time to prevent dangerous situations. They can analyze data to predict a potential disease outbreak before it even gets started. It helps emergency crews figure out who needs help the most and fast. Basically, it allows the authorities to optimize everything, from where they put their doctors to how many medical supplies they need on hand.
But here's where this whole story takes a really interesting turn. See, this isn't just about plugging in the latest, greatest technology. It's about building tech that actually understands and respects a very specific culture and its ethical values. This is about creating a totally different kind of AI.
And this quote from the source material really nails it. It says, AI applications must conform to cultural and religious sentiments to be acceptable. What that means is, for AI to actually work and be trusted in Saudi Arabia, it can't just be some off-the-shelf solution from Silicon Valley. It has to be designed from the very beginning to line up with the country's values and Islamic ethical principles. And a huge part of that is this concept called maslaha. It's an Islamic ethical principle that's all about focusing on the public good and what's best for the whole community. You could almost think of it as the ethical compass they're using to build this AI, making sure that every single app isn't just efficient, but that it's genuinely serving the well-being of the people. In this chart, it really shows you the difference in a nutshell. You know, your standard AI is often all about the data, the algorithms, the function, but this culturally aligned model, it's different. It builds things like patient privacy and dignity right into the design from day one. It even takes into account things like gender sensitivity, like, say, in a telehealth app, to make sure it respects cultural norms. It's a fundamental shift from tech first to values first. Okay, so we've got this huge vision, and we've got this really unique ethical framework to guide it. But how do you actually pull it off? What are the nuts and bolts, the practical steps you need to take to turn this massive idea into something that actually works in the real world? I mean, what's the game plan, right? Because a vision without a real strategy, well, that's just a nice dream. So what does the actual roadmap for building this AI-powered healthcare system look like? Well, the game plan has to be, and is, incredibly detailed. This diagram here gives you a sense of just how many pieces there are to this puzzle. We won't go through every single one, but you can see it covers everything from the technical stuff, like data security and making sure the AI isn't biased, all the way to the social side, like navigating regulations and, this is a big one, building public trust. Every single one of these parts has to work together for the whole thing to succeed. So let's take a step back for a second. Let's zoom out. What does this very specific, culturally designed project in Saudi Arabia mean for the rest of us? Is there a bigger lesson to be learned here? When you really think about it, this isn't just a story about one country. It's a potential model for the rest of the world. It shows how any nation, with its own unique culture and traditions, can tap into the power of AI without having to give up its identity. It's a blueprint for how you can weave cutting-edge tech into the very fabric of a society. And that leaves us with a really powerful final question to think about. As technology gets more and more advanced, maybe the biggest innovation won't be the tech itself. Maybe it'll be how we learn to build it in a way that respects and even strengthens our core human values. So, is this what we're looking at? The future of technology? One where innovation actually honors tradition? It's a huge idea, and one that could really change how we all think about technology, culture, and society. Let me know in the comments if this makes you want to pick up the book.